The discovery. The galaxy had known peace for nearly 2 centuries since the fall of Earth. The Galactic Confederation, a union of 12 sentient species, had established order across 3 spiral arms, with treaties and trade routes connecting thousands of worlds. History texts across countless educational institutions taught that humans, once a promising species, had been wiped out in the Great Purge, a necessary action to prevent their unchecked expansion and technological development. The official record stated that Earth and all its colonies had been bombarded into submission, with the remaining survivors integrated into alien societies until they eventually died out. Commander Terek of the Vexian science vessel Eternal Seeker knew this history well. Like all Vexians, his scaled blue skin and 4 eyes gave him exceptional perception of spatial anomalies, making his species ideal cartographers and explorers. Standing on the bridge of his research vessel, Terek's attention focused on the holographic display before him, showing a peculiar energy signature detected at the edge of the forgotten expanse, a region of space avoided by most travelers due to its strange gravitational disturbances and lack of valuable resources. "Commander, the signal persists," reported Science Officer Mary, her tentacles waving in agitation. "Its pattern doesn't match any known communication system in our database." Terek's upper pair of eyes narrowed while his lower set monitored the ship's trajectory. "Any match to historical records?" "Sir, there's a 78% similarity to—" Mary hesitated, her voice dropping to a whisper. "Human military encryption patterns from pre-purge archives." The bridge fell silent. Several crew members exchanged worried glances. "That's impossible," said Navigator Krell, his crystalline body refracting light, as he shifted uncomfortably. "The human extinction has been verified by multiple species. Their military capabilities were completely cataloged and destroyed." Terek's decision came swiftly. Plot a course to the signal's origin. Maintain science protocols, but prepare defensive systems. If this is some prankster using old human codes, they'll answer to Confederation authorities. As the Eternal Seeker altered course toward the mysterious signal, Terek reviewed what little information existed about humanity's final days. The species had been remarkably adaptable, advancing from primitive technology to interstellar travel in less than 2,000 years, a pace that had alarmed the older Confederation species. Humans had a particular talent for weaponry, turning peaceful technologies into devastatingly effective military applications within single generations. After 3 days traversing the complex gravitational eddies of the forgotten expanse, the Eternal Seeker emerged into a peculiar region of absolute stillness. Here, the usual background radiation of space seemed dampened, stars dimmed as if viewed through a filter. "Sensor anomaly detected," announced Miri. "Something massive is displacing space approximately 2,000 kilometers ahead, but visual confirms nothing." Terek ordered the ship to maintain distance while launching probes. The data they returned confused even the ship's most sophisticated analysis systems. Something was there, something enormous. Yet it remained invisible to standard detection methods. "Apply tachyon imaging," Terek ordered, referencing an old technique developed specifically for detecting cloaked vessels. The main viewer flickered, then resolved into an image that caused audible gasps throughout the bridge. A massive warship hung motionless in space, its dark hull absorbing light rather than reflecting it. The vessel stretched nearly 3 kilometers from bow to stern, with a design unlike anything in current Confederation records. Its shape suggested predatory purpose, sharp angles and weapon emplacements covering its surface. Most disturbing were the markings along its hull. Human language symbols, partially visible beneath layers of specialized coding designed to absorb sensor scans. "Lazarus," Miri translated, accessing archived human language files. "It's an old human mythological reference to rising from death." "How appropriate," Terek muttered. "Scan for life signs." The results came back moments later. Thousands of extremely faint biological signatures in suspended animation. Humans. Somehow, they had survived. Terek knew the implications were staggering. If humans had secretly survived the purge, hidden away in this unremarkable region of space for 2 centuries, what else had the Confederation been wrong about? "Sir," interrupted Communications Officer Zenla, "we're receiving a transmission from the vessel. It's activating." The dormant warship's systems were powering up, lights flickering across its massive hull as ancient machinery awakened. Weapon ports remained closed, but sensors detected enormous energy buildups throughout the vessel. "Open communications channel," Tarek ordered, straightening his uniform. "This is Commander Tarek of the Confederation science vessel Eternal Seeker. We come with peaceful." The view screen changed to show a human female, her dark hair pulled back tightly, eyes sharp with intelligence and suspicion. She wore a uniform of deep blue with silver insignia that matched no known historical record. "This is Captain Elise Chen of the Earth Defense Force Dreadnought Lazarus," she stated, her voice carrying the weight of command. "You have entered restricted space. State your intentions immediately." Tarek recovered quickly from his shock. "Captain Chen, humanity is believed extinct throughout the galaxy. Your presence here raises many questions." A cold smile crossed the human's face. "Commander, we were never extinct. Merely patient." After tense negotiations, Captain Chen agreed to allow a small delegation from the Eternal Seeker to board the Lazarus. Tarek led the team himself, accompanied by Miri and their security chief Grax, a hulking reptilian whose species had evolved as apex predators. The shuttle journey to the human warship revealed more details of its imposing construction. What had appeared smooth at a distance showed itself to be intricately layered armor plating, with subtle patterns that seemed to shift under direct observation. Adaptive camouflage technology far beyond current Confederation capabilities. They docked in a cavernous bay that could have housed dozens of vessels their size. Human security personnel, fully armored and armed, escorted them through corridors that hummed with energy. Tarek noticed that only a small portion of the ship seemed fully active. Most sections remained in low-power mode. Captain Chen met them in what appeared to be a command center, where holographic displays showed star charts and system diagnostics. She was tall for a human, with a bearing that suggested both military discipline and the weight of tremendous responsibility. 216 years, she said without preamble. "That's how long we've waited, hidden here in the void, gathering intelligence and preparing." "Preparing for what?" asked Tarek. "For the moment when humanity would be ready to reclaim its place among the stars." Chen gestured to a nearby console, and a holographic timeline appeared, showing the history of Earth's fall, but from the human perspective. According to Chen, the Great Purge had been a preemptive strike against humanity not because they were aggressive, but because several Confederation species had discovered human potential for technological advancement and feared being rendered obsolete. "But not all humans were on Earth or the known colonies," she explained. "Project Lazarus was our insurance policy. 12 arcs, each carrying 50,000 of our best and brightest, scattered to the far reaches of the galaxy. This ship is merely the first to awaken." The revelation stunned Tarek and his team. If true, it meant that potentially hundreds of thousands of humans had survived, hidden throughout unexplored regions of space, likely with technology that had continued to advance despite their isolation. "Why reveal yourselves now?" Miri asked. Captain Chen's expression hardened. "Because our long-range sensors detected something the Confederation hasn't yet, a threat approaching from beyond the galactic rim. Something that makes our past conflicts seem trivial. We need allies, Commander Tarek, not enemies." She activated another display, showing sensor readings of massive objects moving toward the galaxy at incredible speeds, entities far larger than any known ship or station. "These will reach Confederation space within 5 years, Chen said, "and when they do, our petty grievances will mean nothing. Humanity is offering its help, our technology, our strategies, our warriors, not out of forgiveness, but necessity." Tarek studied the readings, his scientific training recognizing patterns that suggested artificial, controlled movement rather than natural phenomena. The Confederation Council must be informed immediately. They will be, Chen agreed. But first, Commander, I need to show you something that will convince even the most skeptical counselor that humanity's return is not a threat, but their only hope for survival. She led them deeper into the ship, past laboratories where humans worked on technologies Terek couldn't begin to comprehend, through manufacturing centers producing materials with properties that defied conventional physics. Finally, they reached a secured chamber at the heart of the vessel. Inside stood a device no larger than a transport shuttle, yet Terek's instruments detected energy readings that should have been impossible for something its size. "This," said Captain Chen with unmistakable pride, "is why the Confederation feared us. The Crucible, a dimensional anchor that can stabilize wormholes indefinitely. With this, we can create permanent gateways between any 2 points in space, regardless of distance." The implications were staggering. Such technology would revolutionize travel, trade, and warfare throughout the galaxy. And it was just one of humanity's achievements during their 2 centuries of isolation. "Tomorrow," Chen continued, "we begin awakening the rest of our crew. Within a week, the Lazarus will be fully operational. Within a month, we'll make contact with the other arcs. And then, Commander Terek, humanity returns to the galactic stage, not as conquerors, but as guardians against what comes from beyond." As Terek contemplated this paradigm shift, alarms suddenly blared throughout the ship. A human officer rushed into the chamber, face tense with urgency. "Captain, long-range sensors detect Confederation military vessels approaching at high speed, heavily armed. They're not responding to hails." Chen's expression darkened. "Someone in your Confederation doesn't want our reunion to be peaceful, Commander. Now you'll see firsthand why humanity survived against all odds." The Reckoning. The command center of the Lazarus erupted into controlled chaos as Captain Chen strode purposefully to her station. Around her, humans who had moments ago been in suspended animation worked with practiced efficiency, as though they hadn't been asleep for centuries. "Tactical assessment," Chen ordered sharply. A holographic display materialized, showing 7 Confederation warships approaching in attack formation, all bearing the insignia of the Hegemony, the militaristic faction known for their biological weapons and ruthless expansion policies. "Not the Confederation Science Division," Terek observed grimly. "These are Hegemony vessels. They operate with considerable autonomy from the Council. And conveniently, they're the same species that led the charge against Earth 2 centuries ago." Chen replied, her voice hard with barely restrained anger. "Activation protocols, all sections. Bring defensive systems online but hold weapons in standby." Commander Terek watched in amazement as the previously dormant sections of the massive ship began powering up. What had seemed like a partially functioning relic transformed into a formidable war machine within minutes. Throughout the vessel, thousands more cryopods activated, awakening specially trained crews for combat operations. "Captain," Terek said urgently, "allow me to establish communications. I can verify our scientific mission, possibly prevent conflict." Chen considered this, then nodded. "You have 2 minutes. After that, I protect my ship." Terek's transmission to the approaching fleet received an immediate response from Admiral Vorex of the Hegemony. The Admiral's serpentine face filled the screen, ice cold with hatred. "Commander Terek, you and your crew are ordered to evacuate immediately. That vessel harbors a prohibited species and must be neutralized." "Admiral, I must protest," Terek responded firmly. "These humans offer no threat. They possess technology that could benefit the entire Confederation, particularly against a new threat approaching our galaxy." Vorex's expression contorted with disgust. "You've been deceived. Humans always claimed imminent threats to justify their weapons development. Your scientific objectivity is compromised." The transmission cut abruptly. Moments later, the lead Hegemony vessel fired a warning shot that passed dangerously close to the Eternal Seeker. "They're targeting your ship first," Chen observed, turning to Terek. "Typical Hegemony tactics. Eliminate witnesses before committing atrocities." Without hesitation, Chen issued commands that deployed a previously invisible energy field around the science vessel, deflecting a second, more powerful attack from the hegemony fleet. "Shield technology," Miri whispered, awestruck. "True energy deflection, not just absorption. We've theorized this was possible, but theoretical to you, standard for us," remarked a human technician nearby. "Wait until you see what else we've developed." Rather than returning fire, the Lazarus executed a maneuver that should have been impossible for a vessel its size, a dimensional shift that briefly placed it between the attacking fleet and the science vessel, while simultaneously launching what appeared to be small, unmanned probes toward each hegemony ship. "Quantum disruptors," explained Chen as the devices attached themselves to the hulls of the attacking vessels. "They temporarily disable weapon systems without causing permanent damage. We're not looking to start another war." The effect was immediate. The hegemony ship's weapons went offline, leaving them temporarily defenseless but structurally intact. Admiral Vorex's furious face appeared on screen again. "This changes nothing. The Confederation will never accept humans back into galactic society. You were eliminated for good reason. Your technological development was uncontrolled, dangerous." "Uncontrolled?" Chen laughed without humor. "We just disabled your entire battle group without firing a single destructive shot. If we'd wanted you dead, Admiral, you wouldn't have had time to blink." She turned to Tarak. "Commander, I believe your Confederation Council should hear directly from us. Would you facilitate an emergency session?" The emergency council session was held virtually, with representatives from all 12 Confederation species participating via secure quantum communications. Captain Chen stood confidently beside Commander Tarak as they addressed the gathered leaders. The revelation of humanity's survival and their technological advancement sent shockwaves through the council. Some representatives reacted with fear, others with diplomatic caution, while a few expressed genuine curiosity. "For 2 centuries, we've developed in isolation," Chen explained, "focused not on revenge but survival. In that time, we've solved problems your scientists still consider theoretical impossibilities." She presented evidence of the approaching extragalactic threat, massive biological mechanical constructs that had already consumed 3 satellite galaxies, according to human long-range sensors. "These entities don't communicate, negotiate, or show mercy," she continued. "They consume everything in their path. Alone, neither humanity nor the Confederation can stop them. Together, we have a chance." The Council deliberated while the Lazarus remained in standby, its capabilities having made a profound impression. Eventually, a compromise was reached. Humanity would be provisionally recognized as an independent ally rather than a subject species, with technological exchange programs established under careful oversight. Not all were satisfied with this arrangement. The hegemony representatives withdrew from the session in protest, and intelligence suggested they were mobilizing additional forces. "They'll attack again," Tarak warned Chen as they returned to the Lazarus. "The hegemony maintains secret shipyards outside Confederation oversight. They fear your technology will undermine their military advantage." "We're counting on it," Chen replied with a confidence that surprised him. "Sometimes, the best way to establish peace is through a decisive demonstration." 3 days later, the hegemony launched their assault, not with 7 ships, but with 70, including their dreaded planet-killer Worldbreaker, a vessel capable of inducing stellar instability in suns. The Lazarus faced this armada alone, the Confederation Council having officially declared neutrality in what they termed an internal security matter. Commander Tarak had refused evacuation, remaining aboard with a skeleton crew to observe and report. What followed would be studied in military academies across the galaxy for centuries to come. The human warship did not attempt to outgun its opponents. Instead, it employed strategies and technologies that rendered conventional tactics obsolete. Dimensional corridors opened around hegemony vessels, separating them from their formation and isolating them in pocket spaces where their weapons fired harmlessly into void. Targeted electromagnetic pulses disabled ship after ship without destroying them. when the Worldbreaker prepared its main weapon, a gravitational distortion device capable of tearing planets apart, the Lazarus executed its most impressive maneuver yet. A controlled wormhole opened directly in front of the Hegemony flagship, its other end positioned near an uninhabited gas giant. The gravitational backlash from the disrupted weapon firing pulled the Worldbreaker through its own partially formed wormhole, stranding it light years from the battlefield with critical systems damaged beyond repair. The remaining Hegemony commanders, witnessing the complete neutralization of their most powerful weapon without a single fatality, surrendered within minutes. In the aftermath, Captain Chen addressed not just the Confederation Council, but citizens across thousands of worlds via broadcast. 200 years ago, humanity was judged too dangerous to exist because we developed technology too quickly. Today, that same technology just prevented unnecessary bloodshed and may be all that stands between this galaxy and extinction. She gestured to the view screen showing the disabled but intact Hegemony fleet. We could have destroyed every vessel, killed every crew member. Instead, we chose restraint, not because we are weak, but because strength without wisdom is useless against what's coming. The broadcast showed sensor readings of the approaching extragalactic threat, now verified by Confederation scientists using human detection methods. Humanity does not return seeking vengeance, Chen continued. We return seeking alliance. The Lazarus is just the first of 12 arcs, each specializing in different fields: medical technology, sustainable terraforming, dimensional physics, biological adaptation. Together, we possess solutions to problems the Confederation has struggled with for millennia. Standing beside her, Commander Tarek added his own perspective. As a scientist, I verify these claims independently. Humanity offers knowledge freely, asking only for acceptance and cooperation in return. In the weeks that followed, the political landscape of the galaxy transformed. The Hegemony's influence diminished rapidly as their military advantage evaporated. Other human arcs emerged from hiding, each bringing unique technological contributions. Most significantly, the crucible technology demonstrated by the Lazarus was adapted to create an early warning network that spanned the galaxy's edge, the first united defense against the approaching threat. 6 months after the Lazarus had first been discovered, Captain Chen and Commander Tarek stood together on the observation deck of a new Joint Command station. Below them, ships from all species worked together, incorporating human innovations with alien perspectives to create defenses greater than either could have developed alone. Do you think we'll survive what's coming? Tarek asked, his 4 eyes focused on the distant stars. Chen smiled, not with cold determination as before, but with genuine hope. Separate, we were vulnerable. United, we have possibility. And possibility is what humanity has always turned into probability. In the vast darkness beyond the galaxy's edge, the threat continued its approach, unaware that its next meal had developed unexpected teeth. Humanity had returned not as conquerors, but as guardians, their technology ready to unleash chaos not on their former enemies, but on those who would threaten all sentient life. The Silent Warship had awakened, and with it, a new chapter in galactic history had begun.